Freedom of speech is a foundational principle of first world democracy, something we celebrate rightfully as the foundation of free society. We often celebrate our First Amendment rights, and rightfully so. According to the United States courts, the First Amendment states, in relevant part, that Congress shall make no law abridging freedom of speech. But with free speech, a question emerges. When should speech be regulated? In any civilized country, speech has its limits. The United States courts also says freedom of speech does not include the right to incite actions that would harm others, like shouting fire in a crowded theater. The logic states that while we have the freedom to speak our beliefs, we can't say anything at any time and get away with it, even legally speaking. We don't have the freedom to threaten or harass. With that in mind, the question goes from when should speech be regulated to when must speech be regulated? Because if speech threatens safety, it must be regulated, right? If someone yells fire in a crowded theater, it creates a dangerous situation. It's not a matter of should. Some speech needs to be outlawed in order to maintain a functional, safe society. In the modern digital world, that's grown more prevalent than ever. Troubling online commentators, often called trolls, step over the lines of legality with toxic rhetoric. Internet trolling has grown into a dangerous phenomenon, and legal action is necessary to stop it from growing. So what is an internet troll, and what is internet trolling? According to PC Mag, the internet troll is an individual who posts false accusations or inflammatory remarks on social media to promote a cause or to harass someone. The anonymity of such venues enables people to say things they would not say in person, and they often like to ratchet up emotions to generate strong reactions. Basically, trolls enjoy leaving rude comments, particularly racist, sexist, homophobic, or other controversial rhetoric, in an attempt at sparking a reaction. So, what are the results of trolling? Simply, widespread toxicity. Here's some data for you. A study by the Pew Research Center revealed that 41% of United States Americans have experienced some form of online harassment, including 18% who have been the victim of severe trolling, harassing behaviors. To put it in other terms, roughly 1 out of 5 people in the United States have suffered physical threats, sustained harassment, stalking, and or sexual harassment online. 18%. Not ideal, right? So, how do we deal with this? Some suggest the Lisa Simpson and Paul Anka approach. Just don't look. Just don't look. Supposedly, the best counter to trolls is to simply refuse to give them the attention they seek. Writing for the National Review, Jim Garrity suggests that ignoring trolls will solve the problem. Every user of the internet has the option of not reading the comments, blocking or muting offensive Twitter accounts, and generally curating his own experience down to the smallest details. It's easy enough to wall yourself off from people you find too toxic to abide, just as you would in real life. Or if things get really bad, you can just log off and go enjoy the sunshine. Would that be so bad? It makes sense, right? But what happens when trolls enter your personal life? Garrity seems to think trolling is entirely confined to the computer, and unfortunately, it's not. It has very real-world consequences. Case in point, Gamergate. The Gamergate controversy was a trolling campaign resulting from a backlash against women in the video game industry. It led to the widespread harassment of multiple women associated with gaming, with some experiencing severe emotional and even physical trauma. Zoe Quinn, one of the Gamergate victims, had her horrifying experience chronicled. Don't feed the trolls, people say, but it is useless advice when the internet wants to destroy you. Quinn has received so many death threats she has lost count. Her home address and phone number were posted online. She has had 5 a.m. phone calls from strangers detailing how they plan to rape her. Her father was harassed. Dead animals have been put in her mailbox. Nude photos were stolen, plastered across the internet, and sent to family, friends, and colleagues. This references Garrity's strategy, don't feed the trolls. The logic dictates that trolls will disappear if they simply receive no attention. Quinn's experience suggests otherwise. How could she not respond to her personal contact information being posted online? private nude photographs, intimate, detailed rape threats. If the ultimate goal of a troll is response, how far are they willing to go? Garrity's wrong. Clearly, trolling, when brought to these lengths, cannot be ignored. So what can we do? Well, it seems obvious. We should enforce the law, taking away the anonymity on which trolls thrive. Trolling is not protected by the First Amendment. Trolling equates to harassment and incitement, which is transparently unprotected by the Constitution. Clearly, the harassment faced by Gamergate victims falls under this category, as do the physical threats, sustained harassment, stalking, and sexual harassment experienced by 18%, roughly 1 in 5, United States adults. Trolling is clearly, inarguably, illegal and widespread, and it should be treated as such by law enforcement. Law enforcement should extend its influence online in order to better stifle online harassment. The perpetrators frequently go unpunished, empowered by the total anonymity offered by the internet. In order to prevent the Gamergates of the future, law enforcement needs to heighten its online presence, taking threats more seriously, and pursuing legal charges against trolls. The public welfare would undoubtedly improve if legal ramifications followed dangerous online rhetoric, as trolls would be dissuaded from terrorizing strangers, being less emboldened by the cloak of anonymity offered by the online web. By stifling trolling and prosecuting harassers, we're protecting the most vulnerable in our society, something as American as the First Amendment. So don't hesitate. Tell your elected representatives that we won't stand for unchecked trolling any longer. Thank you.